As a gentleman, Dean Alejandro here to talk about one of my favorite subjects, how New Year's resolutions are bullshit. This has kind of come to me in a recent realization as to why I think this, and I think it's more so because I'm reflecting on my mental health. But I really wanted to kind of go down this rabbit hole as an open conversation and have you join along with me, lucky you, to think why I think that New Year's resolutions are bullshit. I have tried so many times to have a New Year's resolution. I have tried to have goals and like a bunch of other things, and when I try to do them, I try to be very extreme. Like, it's going to start on the 1st of this month and I have to consistently do it 100%. And then if I don't do it based off that timeline or anything else, then I just completely get discouraged, which I feel is pretty common with a lot of people making these resolutions, because they're doing it, they start doing it for a month, after 2 months, and like, I don't really want to, and then they stop, right? And a lot of us, especially if you're like drunk on New Year's Eve, you're putting like a bunch of different lists. Well, I'm gonna do this year, and I'm gonna do this. And let's be honest, we don't know what the future holds. Like, let's look at 2020. It had so much potential for good puns and a bunch of other things, and it just basically like self-destructed. So it's really hard to kind of put yourself on these limitations with your goals, because we don't know what the future holds, right? So I've been trying to like kind of reset this in my mind and think, am I going to have a New Year's resolution this year? Am I not going to? Because I really want to, and I've been working on a lot of goals within myself, within my foundation and my mental health and transitioning and a lot of other things, you know, and I really wanted to do this and really wanted to be consistent with it. And then it hit me as I was like driving home. I realized that in order to create, well, I kind of think backwards, okay? So like when I quit smoking or to quit a habit, like you have to do it consistently for a couple days. You basically have to break the old habit, and to quit like smoking cigarettes cold turkey, the easiest way to quit cold turkey is really by taking those negative habits and changing them with a positive habit, right? It's very difficult to do because most of it is mental. At first it's physical withdrawals, of course, and then it's mental, and then it kind of keeps going, right? So from that mentality, I kind of just realized, why are we spending the first of the year, of the new year, that's supposed to be a whole new year, why are we spending the first deciding, okay, well, this is all the things that we have to do, so let's try to create this habit. And then you're like putting in this effort every single day when like the New Year's is already tough as it is, right? So then I was kind of just going down like this rabbit hole, thinking of like, okay, this is another one of society's like expectations. Am I going to do this year? Am I not? And then I realized, which I incorrectly realized because I thought it was 22 days, but prior to doing this video, I Googled it, and it was actually like 66 to like 100 and something, which completely discouraged me from doing this video. But basically, it takes what I thought was 66 days. 22 is when you start, but 66 to more, to create a habit. So that kind of made me realize, why are we starting the new year with a list of, okay, I want to do this thing, I want to do this thing, I want to do this thing. But now I have to actively create this new habit for myself to where I want to do this to achieve this goals, right? Because we always have these like expectations of what we need to do based off other people's ideas and society and a bunch of other things, which is unintentional. I mean, it's unintentional. It's just like kind of how, I don't know, we ended up and now we live. So it's like trying to break this stigma also with like unrealistic expectations, where yeah, it's great if you're going to go to the gym on the 1st and keep doing it, but realistically you're still making that conscious decision to, hey, I need to do this goal, hey, I need to do this, whereas it's not really muscle memory. Dean, where the fuck are you going with this? Because I can't keep up with your rabbit hole information, right? I feel you. So where I'm going with this is that I basically realized, in order to have a successful New Year and New Year's resolution, that you basically have to start your goals like a month before the end of the year, which I did. I started really good, like New Year's and New Year's resolution, like, you know, starting the 1st of December, I was like, oh yeah, I got this, like I'm gonna be easy peasy by the time like January comes around. And then like halfway through the month, here we are. And I'm like, well, backtrack, which is kind of exactly what happens on New Year's and then on January. And I feel like we kind of go back and forth. At least me, when I have a goal and I don't like accomplish it, like I get really discouraged, and sometimes I get depressed, and sometimes my mental health will take over, you know. But I don't want to spend the new year being like, oh, well, you fucked up because you didn't do this. When realistically, we're like, it's 2021 and COVID is still happening. And, you know, we're going through all this stress, and we're going through the winter depression, and we're going through everything that we've still been going through. So why put that extra burden on us? And I don't really know why I wanted to come here and talk about this, because I just think this is such like a random topic. But I just feel like everyone this year has been under so much pressure, like I've just stated a couple times, with basically dishing out what we can to get by, and we don't know what's happening, and nobody knows what's happening, which is super reassuring. And we really have to be here for one another more than ever. So I wanted to put this video out there to know, yeah, New Year's resolutions are a thing. We all know this. Everyone does it. Even if you're not serious about it, you probably do it just to say. And so it's like, why are we putting realistic or unrealistic goals on our plate when we already have so much? Like, it's an accomplishment that we got through 2020. It's an accomplishment that we got through every single month of 2020. It's an accomplishment that we are able to work, if we're able to, that we're able to get by, that we might finally get another stimulus check of like $600, which was cool that we had to, you know, live off that for 9 months, but that's not going to get into that. But the point is that we have all accomplished a lot just by being exactly where we are. And if you're here, our paths have crossed in one way or another. And it's just more than ever, more important, more than ever, to be here for one another. So why are we going to focus, even though it's muscle memory, to focus on a new year, new me, when you've done enough? You know, let's not put more shit on your plate. Let's just get through it. You're doing good the way it is. Like, keep it up. So yeah, like I said, this was kind of a really random topic, but it's something that I've just been really thinking with, especially with talking more about mental health and bipolar and depression and anxiety, and the list goes on. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to put that out there. And if you feel similar, or if you feel kind of discouraged about not having a New Year's resolution or not having those goals, remember that most of the goals are set by society standards, and your happiness is based on you. What you're going to do in a year from now is going to be different than what I'm going to do. Everyone's transition is different. Everyone's life is different. There is no 1 year, 3 year, 5-year, 10-year goal. There is no, it is different for everyone. That is just some bullshit expectation that someone put out there somewhere, and we are just basically slaves and pawns to it, which I'm not going to get into. But yeah, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I do have some different content that's going to be coming up next year. I'm just going to briefly kind of talk about it here, but next week's video will go more in depth. For some of you that may know, if you don't, spoiler alert, I am trans. I was born a female. I am now a male. To make that short, I guess. I have been focusing for the past 3 years, every week, multiple times a month, every month, focusing on my transition with physical changes, social changes, legal changes, everything in between, mental, everything. Like, I've been basically documenting my entire journey. This past year in 2020, I took the initiative to get my mental health on check, and I've decided in 2021 I'm going to be doing more content to put out awareness for mental health, specifically bipolar, bipolar 2, anxiety, depression, severe depression, social anxiety, high PTSD asterisk. I really want to start putting exposure and using my platform to talk about these topics, which is kind of why I'm piggybacking off this conversation, because it goes again with breaking the stigmas in society's expectations of different things. And I want to be able to put resources out there to help break that stigma somehow, which is kind of impossible. And I want to also be able to open the door to have these conversations, whether, you know, you are bipolar or you're not, or have a mix of different things, or just trying to understand. I just really want this to be another resource. We have a lot of transgender and non-binary people and other people in the LGBTQ community, you know, that do, I don't like to say the word suffer, experience mental illnesses. And I really think that we need a safe space, kind of like I've been creating, to focus more on that, because it's really different. Some things that trans people go through are different than what cis people go through. It's just how it is. So in 2021, I'm going to be doing at least one video, hopefully a month, to where I'm doing it on mental health. It's just going to be basically mental health awareness. I am not a doctor. I am not a professional. I'm going to be speaking off my personal experience and basically any ideas and topics that you think I should do. With that being said, if you do have an idea based off mental health, or even if it's transition related topics, I'm still going to be doing transition related topics, of course. I just feel like there is more to us than being trans. There is more to us than being gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual. There is more to us than being non-binary. We are more than just that. We are, we have lives, and there are other things that are important. So as much as I'm going to be documenting my transition still, I just want to kind of, show that I'm a normal person, and we all go through a lot of this shit. So yeah. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any ideas for future videos for 2021, make sure you comment them below, and I'll see you next week. The year's almost